US oil is sitting at a level that you will probably wish you had bought weeks from now, and the same thing with Brent Crude. So I'm going to show you why that's the case in this video, and also some targets to keep in mind for these markets over the coming weeks. I'm also going to show you how to confirm that the bottom is in. And lastly, we are going to take a look at the US dollar because of that correlation between the US dollar and oil. However, it's not what you probably think. So my name is Justin Bennett, full-time trader and founder of Daily Price Action. As always, all of this is my opinion only and not financial advice. So guys, WTI US oil, this is the daily time frame. Now, weeks ago in mid-June, I talked about this area down here. So if you saw those videos, you are probably well aware of this. You might even have this marked on your chart. But this channel right here, off of the highs going back here to March. Okay, so this is obviously when oil started its big breakout back here on March 1st. Obviously, we know why with the situation in Iran. But what we can see here is we had obviously the big run up back here. And since that time, oil has just been pulling back within this descending channel. Now, this has been just one daily candle after the next of just red, right? Pulling back here, down here toward this $66 to $67 area. And this right here, this specifically at 66.7, this is what I've had marked on my chart now for weeks. And the reason for that is twofold. We have obviously the bottom of this channel. However, if we go back here too, this is where the displacement started for WTI. So if you take a level right off of this high, okay, so this is the March 1st candle. This is when that big breakout started here for WTI. And so following a move like this, markets will often come back and fully mitigate that area. And so far, that's exactly what we're seeing from US oil. Okay, so the market is coming back here. You can see today's wick here on Thursday. It is very, very close to this. Now, will we get all the way down here towards 66.7? We will have to wait and see, but clearly you can see from some of these recent lows that this area down here is serving as support. Now, I'm going to show you how to actually confirm that the bottom is in. But before we do, if you're looking for a place to trade oil along with Forex, other commodities, crypto, indices, then check out IC Markets, because right now with my link, you can get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000 and a 50% deposit bonus on future deposits up to $25,000. So that's $26,000 in total that they are going to give you to trade with. So check out my link in the description of this video. I'll also pop it up here at the top of the screen. So click on that, head over there, fill out the application, and you're good to go. Now, if you deposit $10,000 or more into your account, I will grant you lifetime access. Yes, lifetime access to Discord and also the full SMC course. I'm in Discord every single day, posting trade setups like this one here on oil, and also sharing my trades in real time. So with WTI right now tapping into this area, right, we have the market coming into support down here. Again, I don't know if we're gonna get all the way down here. This might be it. However, this is the general area that we're watching. Now, here's how I will be confirming this. So there's two approaches here. First, there's the SMC approach, which is looking for the market to give you, okay, take out lows like this back here, right? So this is a 1 hour time frame. You've got the BOS below. This up here would be your external high. Now, I've said before, right, because you look at this here immediately and you say, well, if the market has to come up here and take out this high, then you're missing out on all of this right here. And while that is true, the point of a change of character is that it should feel late, okay? So it should feel late because the market is confirming for you that the bottom is in fact in. And you're also not buying this, okay? You're buying the higher low that eventually forms, okay? So now that's the first way to trade this. Now, there is a second way as well, and you can probably see it here on the screen. But that is if we move out, what you'll notice here is that since all the way back here on June 15th, okay, so basically mid-June, the last 2 weeks, oil has been pulling back very, very nicely within this descending channel, okay? And this is so incredibly clean right now, guys, that one way you could trade this, and this is not financial advice, it never is, but just my opinion here is you've got your key support down here. So instead of just blindly buying down here, crossing your fingers and hoping for the best, what you can do is use a channel like this, all of these touches that we have off of these highs and these lows, and say, okay, well, if we break out of this, then there's a good chance this becomes new support, okay? And that could be confirmation that the bottom is also in. So this is a little bit of a variation on that SMC approach where you're looking for that change of character. If you're not an SMC trader, you could also just look at levels like this here, look for that breakout, right? That confirmed breakout, that's that convincing breakout, and then play the higher low on the retest that forms. Okay, so a few ways to go about this. Now, of course, if oil does start to drop below this area on the higher timeframes, then this idea, in my opinion, would be kind of off the table, at least for now, just because really, if you start to break below this displacement, the start of this displacement back here in March, and we start to get higher time frame closes below here, then that could indicate a larger drop from oil. Okay. So the whole point here is that the market is at a critical level right now that, as I said, you might wish you had bought weeks from now. However, the key is waiting for that confirmation. And one way to do that are things like this descending channel on the hourly, because it is so incredibly clean, and also using SMC to look for that change of character. Okay, so let's talk about targets now. And before we do, if you want to see exactly how I trade SMC full time, then check out the link right here on the screen. That's going to provide you with a free SMC training. Just click the link, enter your name, email address, and you'll get access. It's completely free. So let's talk about targets here for WTI. So let's assume here for a moment that we get the market, okay, giving us a confirmed bottom down here using one of those two approaches I just showed you. So if we do get the confirmed bottom down here, then targets become pretty easy to spot when you go up here and look at this consolidation. Now, from the daily chart, you could sit here and say, okay, well, maybe this wick up here, maybe this closing price, maybe these wicks back here. However, if you start moving out here to like a 3-day time frame, for example, okay, and we just move in, what you'll notice here is that we have a lot of lows and closing prices through here. Okay. And it really doesn't matter. You could go to a 5-day, like look at the 5-day here. This is incredibly clean. Look at all these lows and closing prices through this area. So you can see this is right around $88. All right. We're going to call this $88 to $90. Now, if we head back here to a daily time frame, you'll also notice that just like this was the inception point of the bullish displacement we had, this up here is the inception point of the bearish displacement we had. Okay, so the point here is that just like oil is mitigating this entire move back here, we could also see if the bottom is put in down here in this area, we could also see oil completely mitigate this candle back here, because this is where this drop really started. Okay, this is where oil broke out of this range back here. Okay, so if we do the math on that, obviously from the lows down here, even if we take today's low, right down here, up here toward this area, you're talking about 30 to 35%. Okay, so a big move, a big opportunity there if we do get that. Okay, so let's take a look now at Brent Crude. Not a whole lot of time on this one, just because it is, following WTI as it always does. However, if you look here at the weekly time frame, you can see here off of the highs and lows that we do have this wedge pattern that broke out back here. And what's really interesting here is that this goes back to 2023. So this is a massive pattern for Brent Crude. You can see the market is testing that here today on Thursday. Now, just like with WTI though, you don't want to just blindly assume that the market's going to hold this, because this has been an aggressive pullback. So instead, if we go here to a daily time frame, you can see that the market is actually tapping into that level here today. And if we go to a 1-hour time frame, you'll notice that we have a similar descending channel. Now, here's the difference with this one though. And this is why I prefer trading US oil over Brent, is that you can see back here on the 1-hour time frame, this close above. So really you can make the case that the market isn't fully respecting this on a 1-hour basis. So you might have to go to like a 4-hour time frame, because notice how even though this open was back here, the market closed below. So this right here is still valid. Okay. So you might have to play this on like a 4-hour time frame. Again, just my opinion, never financial advice, but looking here at this high up here, okay, or this resistance up here. So if we were to see Brent, rally from this area down here, give us that breakout from this convincingly, and then playing the higher low. And if you're using SMC, then really you would be looking for the market to take out this high back here, because you'd have essentially off of this low right here, you'd have, this was your BOS. Notice we didn't close below it back here. So this would be your BOS right here. And then that would make this up here your change of character. Now, again, the downside with this is that you'd have to wait for the market to take out this high back here. Okay. So in essence, you'd kind of be missing this initial move. But again, a change of character, if this is going to be your change of character, this up here should feel late. It should feel late because the market is giving you that confidence that the bottom is likely in. And then from there, you're playing the higher low. Okay. So you're not technically missing out on this. You're just waiting for this as confirmation. And then you're looking for that higher low to form. Okay. So then you're looking to buy on the pullback, right? So that is one approach. Again, you could, if you are not an SMC trader or not comfortable with that, you could just also then look at levels like this up here and wait for that breakout. Okay. So markets right now, Brent Crude, WTI, they're both testing some massive levels here in the market that, in my opinion, we probably see a reaction, but we need that confirmation. I need that confirmation before I buy with confidence. Now, looking at the DXY, okay, because As you guys know, if you've seen recent videos, I am bullish on the US dollar longer term. And you can also see where June closed, the monthly time frame, right? We're coming off the bottom of this channel here, and you can see where the monthly time frame closed above all of these highs. Okay, so this was the highest monthly close in 13 months from the US dollar. So naturally, we are seeing the market pull back here in July, as I've alluded to. This area down here, though, off of all these highs, this is going to be the area to watch here for the DXY. Okay, so the question then becomes for a lot of traders is, well, if you're bullish on WTI, right, coming back here, if you're expecting the market to, put in a potential bottom down here and rally as high as $90, right? How is it going to do that if you're also bullish on the US dollar? Because conventional wisdom says that the US dollar moves inversely to oil. However, here's what I want to show you. If we look at this chart here, okay, what I've done here is I've taken WTI. Okay, so WTI is in this purple color here, and I have the DXY in this blue color. Now, what's interesting here is that you'll notice that since June, okay, so this was June right here, because this is a daily time frame. In June, they were moving inversely. Okay, so you basically had the US dollar rallying and you had oil pulling back, obviously, as we've seen. Now, if you go over here, though, toward this period from really February all the way in to March, you can see they actually moved together. Now, if I go back here even further and look at the price action, what you'll notice is that there are periods of time, large periods of time, where they actually move together. I mean, this is basically the same chart. Okay, you can see here that since, October 2023 all the way toward September 2024, they were moving together. I mean, it was lockstep between these two. So the point here is that this notion that oil moves inversely to the US dollar and vice versa doesn't really hold up when you look at years, okay, years of data, because sometimes they move inversely, sometimes they move together, like you can see here. So how do you reconcile this, right? How do you reconcile this if you're trading oil? And the answer is you don't, okay? You trade the oil chart for the merits of the oil chart, or on the merits of the oil chart. In other words, you don't overcomplicate it, okay? So that's my best suggestion to you, that if you're trading, whether it be WTI, Brent Crude, whatever it might be, don't overcomplicate things. Don't think that, well, if the US dollar is rallying, then oil can't, because as you just saw, it can go, years really, where the two are actually moving together. So I truly hope this video has helped. If it has, then keep it locked in here by subscribing to the channel, and also check out the SMC course that you see here on the screen. It's completely free. Click that link, enter your name, email address, and you will get access. So until next time, trade well out there, and I will talk to you again in the next video.